When I was 16 years old, my father asked me a question. He asked me, if there were no heaven, would you still serve God? And I honestly believe that was the day I became an existential Christian. So I'm going to ask you, if there were no heaven, would you still serve God? Maybe I can ask this question because I was never converted, because I was born into His marvelous light and not into darkness. For me, from the day of my birth, all there ever was and is God. God is all there will ever be. I was not raised on happy conversion promises or stories. I was raised on strict, legalistic, there is no grace for those who know better kind of Christianity. And while this has, in a sense, broken my mind and made me into a kind of deformed version of Christianity perfected, it has also afforded me a lens that allows me to see God as more than a genie. Is it possible for Christians to love God simply because He is, and not solely because He gives you blessings or a way to save your own skin? I mean, really, can we be real for a second and really ask ourselves if the only reason we serve God is because He saves and not merely because He is? Honestly, for all you parents out there, how would you feel to know that your kids only love you because of the things you can do for them and not merely because you are? What if the day comes that you can no longer do for them? Does that now mean that they are free of their obligation to love you and can now go find another parent who can do for them what you cannot, even though you are the sole reason why they have life? How is it different from our Father above? When will we transcend mere Christianity and love God simply because He is, regardless of what He does or doesn't do for us? Romans 14:7-9. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. For to this end Christ both died and rose and revived, that He might be Lord both of the dead and the living. So I ask you today, and I challenge you today, to be more than a mere Christian, to transcend your Christianity and be something bigger and better than a person who is only in it for an even exchange. To be bigger and better than a person who is only in it to save their own skin. To be a person that's bigger and better, that expects from God, but that gives to God. And I get this is hard. And I get that this may sound impossible. And I get that this may even sound ludicrous. But really, if God made us in His own image, as it says in the Bible, how do you feel when people only love you for what you can do for them? How do you feel when people only love you when you are perfect? How do you feel when people turn their back for you after you have given your all to them and can give no more for whatever reason, and say that you don't love them, and say that you never care for them, and say that you never did anything for them, when you have given your last, when you have loved with all of your heart? How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel loved, appreciated, exalted, cared for, safe? How do you feel when people only love you because they want to eat your light, because you're simply a resource to be used, or simply a lamp to be rubbed when they have wishes to ask for. When will we be bigger than toddlers who get angry when our parents won't give us our toys? And I'm sorry if this message takes away your billowy, smiley face version of Christianity, but what I am imploring you to do today is to get to the root of something real, something true, something deeper than tit for tat Christianity, to get to the root of something bigger and deeper and more real than I give you this, so now you must give me that. We will never see the truth of love if we are always taking score. In Jesus' name.